If you're feeling a little bit bored with the Spider-Man or the Through the Omenpaths draft set right now, I've got some fun rares that you're going to want to try to spice things up, just like you and your girlfriend try to do on your 10-year anniversary. So the first rare is the Anti-Venom, or Verilax if you're on the Through the Omenpaths side. This card makes you think you want to go mono white. Now, obviously that's ideal, but it's going to be pretty hard, even when you're forcing it in pick 2, to do completely mono white. So the best way to actually play this is to do a little bit of a splash. So you can have maybe about 3 to 5 different cards that you can splash in. So that way you can run 11 planes and then 6 of whatever other color that you're playing. Now, because you're going to be base colored white, either you want to go green white or blue white. Now the good news is green white and blue white both have the highest win rates for the dual colored pairs in the set, and both of their uncommons are really, really good. So you can't go wrong either way. And also another pro tip is it's okay to play one copy at least of Steel Web Survivor. This helps you hit your splash colors when you need to, or helps you put the planes on top, because you do need 5, which is definitely a lot, even if you have like only 1 or 2 splash cards. And I do have a video up on the channel about when I drafted it, and I did do a very, very small splash, and it worked out totally fine. The next really fun one is Rent is Due, or the Confessor's Bindings on Omenpaths for Arena. This is the one where you have to tap creatures during your end step. You need to tap 2 of them in order to draw a card. Now, if you don't tap 2, then you have to sacrifice this enchantment. So at maybe when you are tired of losing your blockers, then you can probably sacrifice it after you've drawn maybe 2 or 3 cards. Now, a couple things to note. This does not trigger in web or the web slinging mechanic, because you're doing it during your end step, and web slinging is a sorcery speed ability. So this will not work with all of the spiders. And keep in mind, you can use treasures, but the only thing that gives you treasures in this whole set is Favored Fighter. So if you have multiple copies of Favorite Fighter, this actually should go up in your pick order. But overall, don't get fooled by this. Make sure you get some value before you have to sacrifice it. But how do you actually make this card work? And unfortunately, there actually aren't any cards in common or uncommon that create multiple creatures or tokens. This is not a token making set. But I do think if you're green-white, you can take Gallant Citizen, because you want to have as many 2-drops as possible, because that will allow you to have 2 creatures available earlier, as early as turn 3, so that way you can go 2-drop, 2-drop on turn 3 plus Rent is Due, and then start drawing your cards right away. And then Gallant Citizen, of course, is just a good chump blocker later on if you want to. So it's a good fill in here. Opulent Valet is the one common that makes 2 bodies, and this will allow you to automatically play or trigger Rent is Due. So try to get as many copies of Opulent Valet. And because you're going to be playing this copy or this card, which normally is not very good, right? It's a 3-mana 1/1 flyer. If you can get in with it or put counters on it, which is great with the Puffed Pastry, or if you have Web, then you can put it back in your hand, play it again, and then get another Citizen, which allows you to keep snowballing. Now, ideally, if you can get Remarkable Readings, this card already has an amazing win rate, so you should just take this no matter what. But this is one of the only other cards that makes tokens for Rent is Due, and it's a pretty cool and sweet combo together. The next one is Imposter Syndrome here, and it's not a very good card, but it's really fun to build around. But because you need a non-token creature to deal combat damage, you ideally want to have something that can do the combat damage the turn you play this right away. You don't want to wait a full turn cycle in order to get your value from this, which means you're going to need to play evasive creatures. And because you're either going to be blue-black or blue-white, both of them do have good evasive mechanics. Blue-black has this Signpost uncommon, which in my opinion is like a mythic level uncommon. It's got flying on it. The other Signpost in blue-black has Menace and Knives whenever you play a villain. But blue-white actually has a ton of flyers in it. So the Aerialist is great, Serena is great, Margot obviously gets in unblockable. Blue just has a bunch of random other flyers as well. And I do have a video on my channel where I pack one, pick one Imposter Syndrome on Arena, and then tried to build around it. The next one is either of these or in combination together would make a really fun Mayhem deck. That's either Shadow of the Goblin, Quint's Insight, or Arachnomania, or Spider-Verse in paper. Both of these require you to be almost all in on the Mayhem mechanic, which, by the way, Red-Black has the lowest win rate on Arena on 17 lands. So I would highly recommend you don't play it unless you have either of these 2 payoff cards, because it'll make it really fun and you'll actually get to win. Between the 2, which one would you rather have? If you want to win, you're going to want to have Quint's Insight or Shadow of the Goblin. The reason why is because there's almost no cards other than the Tormenting Voice in this set where you can discard and then draw a card after. A lot of the other discard effects only give you like a +1/+1 counter or make something unblockable, and so, or gives you a treasure. So this is the only card here that actually lets you put a card back in your hand. And because this is super cheap, you can play this on turn 2, it gets your engine online a whole lot faster. Arachnomania, unfortunately, you will basically be taking turn 5 off. There's no way you can double spell on turn 5, but turn 6 will turn out to be a super explosive turn. So if you actually want to build red-black, well, you would highly need to prioritize Knife Trick because you need a cheap enabler in order to discard cards. You don't want to have expensive cards because Mayhem costs usually cost 2 or 3, and so you want to be able to play these ahead of curve. So Knife Trick is the only way you can play the String Puller on turn 3, as early as turn 3. And Wenduku is the best because it has the cheapest Mayhem cost for 1 black, so try to prioritize getting copies of this. And then because you want to go all in on the Mayhem thing, Cam and Farrick is normally a really bad card, but if you're all in on the Mayhem thing, sometimes this can do 5 damage in a turn, which can basically win games on its own, and it's an evasive threat with haste. And on the topic of Mayhem, one card that I think is still a trap, I've gotten to play with it multiple times and played against it, is the Ultimate Green Goblin or Ruzik on Arena. Do not play this card. This is not a pull into the Mayhem colors. It should be the other 2 cards. This one is really bad because you have to discard a card at the beginning of your upkeep, so you don't even get to draw a card first to see if you get something worth discarding. It's not optional, and you only get a treasure. Now, if you are going to take this card and ignore my advice, I would say discard a land at the beginning of your upkeep because you're going to get a treasure anyways. If you don't have a good Mayhem card to discard, just discard the land. Otherwise, you're going to keep 2 for 1ing yourself every single turn. Also, this card does not have trample, so your opponents can just keep chump blocking it because you're still 2 for 1ing yourself every turn. You're discarding a card, they chump block, so you're still going 1 for 1. Now, this is probably my most favorite and fun rare to build around, and that is Cosmic Spider-Man or Scions of the Ur Spider. I actually have a video up on the channel where I, spoiler alert, got a trophy on it, and my deck was totally busted. I had 2 copies of this. Watch this video right over here. It's really, really cool to see how I put this together. Obviously, it's Ruberg, so you're going to want to be green base, and the fixing in this set is actually pretty good, and this has a decent win rate on 17 lands. So how do you actually draft 5 color and make it work? Well, one thing I want to point out here is that you ideally want to be green-white base, not green-red. The reason being is the second part of the ability. At the beginning of combat, other spiders. So this only helps other spiders. Green-red does not have a lot of spiders. And all the other colors as well do not have spiders. And another thing is you do want at least 1 copy of the Treat Trolley. I would take it early. Normally they wheel, but you don't want to risk it. You need at least 1 copy of this, no more than that. And then Divine Woven Chariot is excellent. I still think this is one of green's best commons just because it's almost always a 2 for 1. You get to get a 3/1 creature that can block or trade, and then you also get to draw a card, which is a land, and it fixes you. You only need to have 4 of the basics. You do not need to play all 5 of the basic colors. You're going to want to have your dual land or your Treat Trolley or something like that in order to get you your 5th color. And the way that you want to actually play the game is a little bit different. You should be playing really passively, and your objective is just to stay alive long enough to draw the Cosmic Spider-Man. Obviously, try to bait out some of their removal spells because this does not have any protection. There's no hexproof and there's no indestructible, but it can win the game all on its own because it's got lifelink, flying, first strike, so there's not a lot of things that can actually stop this once you get it down. So just play really passively. It's okay to take some trades, maybe 2 for 1 yourself, maybe 1 or twice, have some draw cards in your deck to filter through some things, maybe get some connive going, but don't play aggressive, just play to your outs, which is your win conditions. And this is the one deck that makes Steel Web Surveyor actually a pretty decent card. And it also has reach, which can help you stay alive against those blue-white flyer decks. So those are my picks for the top fun rares in Spider-Man or Through the Omenpaths set. But if I missed any fun, cool rares that you want me to try and build around, put that down in the comments as well. And let me know your general thoughts on this format. I thought it was pretty fun to do the pick 2, but I've been hearing a lot of mixed reviews online and from people at my LGS saying that this set is not very fun. So I would love to hear what you all think, and thanks for watching this video.